Alright, we are back on Ian Versus Everything. I am Ian. Today I'm going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 3, the definitive edition, as this version's being called. I don't know, it's been Grand Theft Auto 3, it's been part of a trilogy, it's been part of it standalone by itself, it's been included as a set, it's been remastered, it's been re-released, it's had anniversary editions, it's been fucking upscaled. You know what I mean? And this is the version that's available right now on the Nintendo Switch. Now, from what I understand, this is not the original PlayStation 2 version of Grand Theft Auto 3 that came out in 2001. That version is forever sunsetted and retired. That version has been taken off digital platforms from what I understand, but it may also have been put back on digital platforms for people who have already downloaded it in the past or whatever the fuck. I don't know exactly how it's working out. All I know is a couple of years ago, while we were still dealing with and coming out of the pandemic, they decided that they were going to release Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and they were going to be completely remastered and upscaled. Like, they were going to be remastered and rebuilt, like being taken off the original engine that they used to create Grand Theft Auto 3. They were moving that to the Unreal Engine, and it was supposed to be the most definitive ultimate edition of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas that you're ever going to play in your life, only for that game to get released and everybody was shitting on it, saying that the company, that the development studio that was, developing this game, that Grove Street Games or whatever the fuck, did such a piss poor job and they were lazy with it, and they basically just ported the old mobile ports and upscaled that, and it was just a clusterfuck and a mess. And it was a thumbs down from like the entire Grand Theft Auto community, because everybody's sick and tired of not only Rockstar milking Grand Theft Auto 5 for like 15 fucking years, but they keep delaying Grand Theft Auto 6, even though they officially released the cover art and the game went up for pre-order. But then they also pissed off the community in general by announcing all the physical copies of the game aren't going to include the fucking disc for Grand Theft Auto 6. Instead, you're going to get a piece of paper with a download code. So let that sink in. Rockstar is not spending the money to produce and manufacture the fucking discs to put in your PlayStation so you could play the game, but they're going to spend the money to make the plastic cases that the Blu-ray disc would go inside. But instead of making the discs, you're giving a piece of paper. Like, why don't you just make the game fucking digital across the board? Why even bother selling the download codes at retail in a plastic box if you can't spend the money to make the plastic disc that goes into the, what is it, like $800 at this point for a fucking PlayStation 5 between the Pro versions and shit? You know what I mean? And then Microsoft just announces that they're going to be discontinuing the 2 terabyte model, and they're going to be adding $100 to the overall retail price because of inflation and shit. I'm sorry, I like it back in the day when people were complaining about like the PlayStation 2 being $300 or whatnot when that shit was about to come out. When you originally wanted to play Grand Theft Auto 3 in the first place, now they're honestly expecting you to pay up to $900 just for the fucking video game system. Like, that shit's ridiculous to me. So, using that type of mentality and math is why I didn't spend $60 on Grand Theft Auto 3, the definitive edition, because after all the complaints and whatnot, apparently they patched the shit out of this over the years to where it's somewhat enjoyable and able to be played like you enjoyed it back in the day. But there's still some little things about the game that's still going to make you think they probably should have just kept the originals and not even bothered with this. Probably spent the extra time making sure Grand Theft Auto 6 should have came out like a year ago instead of, delaying that shit again. So, like I said, I wasn't going to pay $60 for this on the Nintendo Switch. and even I've seen it on sale physically for like $30. They had it digitally on the Nintendo Switch for $20, which was great. I didn't have a problem spending $20 for this trilogy because originally I just wanted Vice City and San Andreas, but they weren't available to be bought individually on the Nintendo Switch shop. So, I kind of had to wait for this to go on sale unless I wanted to grab the physical copy. But I'm all about saving money on my games and whatnot. So why pay 30 for a physical if I could get it for $20? So that's what I fucking did. So today I'm going to start a new game on Grand Theft Auto 3. And I'm not basically playing this to like do a walkthrough from, I'm not going to do a playthrough from like beginning to end. Unless you want me to, let me know in the comments if, you enjoy watching this video and you want to see me continue playing the game. But for me, this is basically a trip down memory lane because back when Grand Theft Auto 3 was literally about to get released, it was this game came out in like October of 2001, where we in America are still like 30 days after 9/11 happened. You know what I mean? So the world was dealing with, the United States was, dealing with all of that at the same time. Grand Theft Auto, during that timeline, Grand Theft Auto 3, when that was in development, everybody was excited. Back in the day, everybody was super psyched. Everybody was getting ready for Grand Theft Auto 3 to come out on PlayStation 3 because it was a big deal. Because, like, look at this with the opening cutscenes. Like, this in itself is what opened up the game. This was such a big deal seeing on your PlayStation 2 back in 2001. Like, people weren't seeing graphics like this. Like, this was such a big deal, especially with Grand Theft Auto 3, because Grand Theft Auto 1 and Grand Theft Auto 2 basically kind of fucking sucked. Because, like, I remember in the 90s when Grand Theft Auto first came out, and it was all over the video game magazines for being controversial because of the things you could do in the game, like steal cars and shoot cops and all this other stuff. They basically called it, a murder simulator and a crime simulator. And, back in the day, they didn't really want this game being marketed to kids. So originally, Grand Theft Auto was banned, and it was taken off the market. But then Grand Theft Auto was able to get re-released after they ironed out some bullshit because senators and congressmen were like trying to get violent video games in general banned. Like Mortal Kombat is the fucking reason why there's a video game rating system to begin with. And, by the time Mortal Kombat came out, 1992, 1993, fast forward to 2001, like all those senators and the fucking congressmen that were trying to, ban the violent video games and blame society's downfall on the video games were doing everything in their power to, like, get Grand Theft Auto off the shelves. So, when I came across Grand Theft Auto after reading about it in the magazines, I was in the Air Force, and that's when I saw Grand Theft Auto available for sale for the PlayStation, which I had. And the thing is, with Grand Theft Auto, it was available in a 2-pack because the one disc was the original Grand Theft Auto game, and the second disc was the second disc was expansion additional content, which would be DLC today, but it was like GTA London 1969, to where it's the same premise of the first game, only now you're in London and whatnot, and it's the 60s and shit. So basically, Grand Theft Auto, I remember playing that, and I remember playing it on the PlayStation, and thinking the overall mechanics of the game was fun. I'm already going in the wrong fucking direction. I remember thinking the whole premise of Grand Theft Auto was amazing, as far as like being turned into a video game and shit. Because like it's not like cops versus robbers haven't been done before in video games. Like you had APB in the fucking 80s and shit, and you had Narc and whatnot. But Grand Theft Auto like was a big deal when it came out. So like they put it out on the PlayStation, but it had like while running on a 32-bit machine, it was still basically utilizing 16-bit graphics with an overhead camera for like gameplay and navigating the map and shit. And Grand Theft Auto 2 basically took the same gameplay elements as the first game, right? Only they just made the game a little bit more shinier because I'm going to say while Grand Theft Auto came out on the PlayStation, when Grand Theft Auto 2 came out, Grand Theft Auto 2, for all purposes, at least to me, felt like it was being developed for the Dreamcast because the sharpest version of Grand Theft Auto 2 is on the Sega Dreamcast. And I'm just going to hang out for a second before I continue with the missions. But basically, Grand Theft Auto 2 came out and kind of expanded upon the first Grand Theft Auto, but long story short, it still kind of sucked. You know what I mean? You know, when everybody was about 3D graphics and polygons and shit, it was still Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 still felt very much stuck in the past. It was fun to play, but it got old real quick. And then in the world where, like, you know, we're moving past the Sony PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 was already out, Grand Theft Auto 3 was in development, so now they're able to utilize the power of the PlayStation 2, and I could also say Xbox in the background because Grand Theft Auto 3 did get ported to the original Xbox and shit, but it was out on PlayStation 2 first, so that's what I'm focusing on. So, like, Grand Theft Auto 3 was in development, and during that whole, you know, summer of, like, spring and summer of, like, 2001, when I'm going to, like, video game websites and shit, and I'm reading about the development of Grand Theft Auto, and people are getting excited in chat rooms and message boards and shit. Like, people were getting excited for this game, and, you know, at that point, like, 2001, that's when I became a father. Like, Julia was born in January and shit, so it's like, I remember, like, my first year as a dad, you know what I mean? And when I was seeing my kid, like I had my visitation and shit, but then when it wasn't my visitation and I'm back to life and shit, like in the downtime, basically killing time between my visitations and going to work and shit, you know, I'd be on the internet, whatnot, goofing around, and a lot of the times I'd be reading about upcoming video games and shit that's coming out on the PlayStation 2, which I did not have at the time. I didn't have a PlayStation 2 when Grand Theft Auto 3 hit shelves. I was still playing a Sega Dreamcast. I was still playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, an Unreal Tournament, you know what I mean? I was jamming out on WWF Royal Rumble, and I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, so that's what I was playing back in the day at a time when I really wanted to get a PlayStation 2. So it's like year one at parenting, you know, staying in the loop about the development of Grand Theft Auto 3, and then September happens, 9/11 happens, and then while everybody's, you know, dealing with 9/11 and the aftermath of that for like the first month after it happened, like you had video game fans that are still paying attention to Grand Theft Auto 3 about to get released, and I remember they had like delays because of everything that happened on 9/11. They wanted to make some changes to the game, so they like changed the Liberty City Police Department logos to look less like the NYPD, you know, and I even believe that the Twin Towers were removed from the game, so you don't have a reminder of what was just destroyed in reality. So I remember, you know, that being like one of Grand Theft Auto's like final changes before it was finally released. And when Grand Theft Auto 3 was released, like, that game sold many PlayStation 2s. Like, everybody was going out and buying Grand Theft Auto 3. And it was even, like, one of those moments where I didn't have a PlayStation 2. I didn't have Grand Theft Auto 3. But I had friends who had a PlayStation 2. And I had friends who had PlayStation 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3. And I just remember, like, plenty of times hanging out with my friends, like one dude in particular, this dude Chris, who I remember working with at a telemarketing place. Me and Chris would like go to this call center and we'd like go to work and shit, and then when we were done at work, we'd like go to his apartment and shit and smoke blunts and hang out, and Chris would be sitting there playing Grand Theft Auto 3 and shit, and I'm just like sitting there hanging out, like just watching him play this game, just like blown away by like the cutscenes and everything that he's able to do in this open world. Because the thing is, you know, Grand Theft Auto 3 was a big deal and people were getting excited about it because Rockstar was taking Grand Theft Auto in a brand new direction. Like this game felt like you were playing a fucking movie, you know? Every like you got introduced to characters in this shit, and it was telling a story, and it's one of those type of things where Grand Theft Auto wasn't just telling a story, but it was like building a universe and shit, because you'd find out in future games how like you know everything's connected through different decades and shit. So it's like we're building a universe with Grand Theft Auto in the going forward with the 3D games. And this game was a masterpiece and shit. Like I remember watching commercials for this game, like watching Monday Night Raw in an era where WCW was already bought. The brand extension just started. Like Eddie Guerrero just returned to WWE and shit. And I remember when they went to commercials and whatnot, they were showing commercials for Grand Theft Auto 3 with the freaking mafia music and the way gameplay and the slow motion cutscenes and the other regular cutscenes and the dialogue was all edited and shit. Like that was absolutely amazing. So this game was such a big deal when it came out that it's forever cemented its place in history. I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just yakking and standing here. But basically what I'm getting at is I played this game plenty of times when I did not have a PlayStation 2, and I was just in awe of everything with this game and just hanging out with the homies, watching my friends play this game, eventually getting the controller passed to me to where I'm able to fuck around and goof around with it for a while. And then eventually, I started working at an insurance company, and I remember I took advantage. Well, not take advantage. I mean, taking advantage makes it sound like I did something bad. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't go to. It's not like I went to Boscov's and put my hand over its mouth and said, "Shh, don't tell anybody." It's like I went to Boscov's and I took advantage of their layaway system, and I finally put my PlayStation 2 on layaway. I didn't have $300 to just drop on a video game console back in 2002, 2003, whenever I decided to get Grand Theft Auto 3. I eventually bought that game used from GameStop once I did pay off my PlayStation 2. But that's the thing. Like eventually I grabbed a used copy of Grand Theft Auto 3. I was able to play that shit, and I definitely had my fun with this game. But I really did not spend a lot of time with Grand Theft Auto 3, surprisingly, once I finally got my PlayStation 3. And the only reason for that is because by the time I feel like I was the last one showing up at the party. By the time I got my PlayStation 3 and my used copy of Grand Theft Auto 3, everybody was already getting excited because Vice City just came out. So I'm already feel like I'm stuck in the past playing the old shit when everybody's already vibing about the new shit, when the last time I checked, I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto 3 is still the new shit, even though it's apparently not, because the sequel already came out. What the fuck are you doing? Get away from me. Look at this fucking asshole. I'm here fucking narrating a goddamn story, and this dude's just staring me down for no fucking reason. God damn it. So, it's like everybody was getting into Vice City at the time I finally got this game. So it's like I played Grand Theft Auto 3, but the reality is I only got so far into the missions because some of these missions are just lame as shit. And I really just didn't feel like raging out over and over again on some missions because, it's one of those type of things where this game is a masterpiece and people will always say it's a masterpiece until you compare Grand Theft Auto 3 to the other Grand Theft Auto games, especially like Grand Theft Auto 5 and shit, because people that, you see what they've done with Grand Theft Auto 5, and you could even include Red Dead Redemption 2, but you could see the way Rockstar has fucking grown over the past 25 years. You know what I mean? And it's like it all started with Grand Theft Auto 3 on a fucking Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 2 on a PlayStation and Sega Dreamcast. But, it basically started with this. And, this game is still a masterpiece because, how they were able to build it and develop it, and basically this like living, breathing sandbox Liberty City that you're able to fuck around in. Like, I'm just not doing anything right now. You know what? Let me get in a... Oh, you know what? I gotta go activate a mission. Right? Is that what I gotta do? No, I'm already in a mission. Alright, actually, I gotta go pick up Misty from the herpy clinic. Misty needed to get a lotion for her cooch, so I gotta go get her from the clinic. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Misty. You play prostitute games, you win prostitute prizes. Get out of the way. Walk around my car. See, look what you made me do. You gotta get handed to Rockstar. They definitely have made more attractive prostitutes in this game. Like, Misty is like a fucking bulldog compared to the other ladies that they've made in the games over the years. Misty looks pretty fucking rough. Alright, gonna bring her back to Luigi, right? Free my boy. Look at that. $1,500 for dropping off Misty and her herpy cream. Don't spank my bitch up.
Luigi said to give you this, so here, take it.
See, I will say, like, this game did look fucking great on, like, PlayStation 2 and whatnot. And I'm, you know, and it's not like I didn't just own this on my PlayStation 2. Like, over the years, I grabbed it on PlayStation 3 when it was available. You know, I grabbed it on my PlayStation 4 because I took advantage of, like, sales when it was available for, like, $5 or $10. You can't really beat it at those prices. Alright. But that's the thing, like Grand Theft Auto 3, you know, it's always worth playing. Like this, like you can't deny like what this game meant to the video games industry and its contributions, and you know what I mean? It's one of the greatest games of all time, and it took a new series to the next level that it really needed to get to be taken seriously. Like, Grand Theft Auto 3 was, Grand Theft Auto in general was great for its premise, but honestly, overall, it always felt like a novelty with the first two games. You know what I mean? It felt like a novelty, like you're getting away with murder and whatnot, and look at all the things you could do. Hold on, let me go beat this guy's ass. Alright. That was easy. Slaps the target button. It's just one of those type of things where I feel Grand Theft Auto 3 still holds up. However, you could only play it so much before you feel like you force yourself to move on to Vice City and San Andreas. Because there's stuff that, you know, you weren't able to do in this game that you were able to do in the other games. And honestly, too, even like comparing this to Grand Theft Auto 5, like this is, you know, to a degree considered unplayable. But I just love it overall. Because it's, I don't know, it's one of those type of things. Like, I remember this game when it was new. I remember when it was in development. I remember real life and going on while this was being made. And, you know, considering I was like, you know, Julia was like 9 months old when 9/11 happened. You know, she's 25 now with an almost 7-year-old. So it's like, my daughter's grown up as just as long as this game has aged, and just as long as other games have came out in the series. So, you know, of course this game is not going to play as well as it did back in the day, but you know, it's like looking at Mario games. You know, a lot of people probably don't want to play Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario 2 or Super Mario 3. You know, even though some people are going to comment and be like, "I play Super Mario World all the time." I get it. I do too, but I'm saying like like if you're the same age as me, like I just turned 47. So if you're the same age as me, I would expect you to still enjoy playing those older games cuz you obviously didn't forget how you were raised or where you came from. But for like a younger generation of gamers, like, you know, take my Julia. Julia lives in a world where PlayStation 2 was a thing when she was born. You know what I mean? Sega Dreamcast was out when Julia was born. There, you know, WCW got bought by the World Wrestling Federation when Julia was only like 3 months old. I'm going the wrong way. So has this game aged horribly? I'm not saying absolutely because I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Where am I going? Oh, it's right here in the fucking corner. Oh no. I don't know. For some reason, I thought I had. You know what? I already went to the pay and spray. In my head, I'm like thinking. In my head, I'm like thinking I gotta go to the pay and spray, but I already did that. See, I will say right there, getting out of the car and getting out of the garage, I will say like the way the car's all shiny, like that looks like artifacty as fuck. Like look at that. Like it's got this weird like dithering effect on the shine. So yeah, I can see where the graphics still kind of look like ass at times, but overall, you know, you can't really say this doesn't look better than the PlayStation 2 version. Because even with it looking as crisp and sharp as it is, it's still, you know, you got that 32-bit era was notorious for having the background fog and the distance fog. So, you know, your background graphics can like pop up without looking noticeable and shit. But like I don't know. As I'm running around, I could Jesus Christ. Holy crap. Are y'all cops or yo, don't mind me, dudes. I just want that guy's money. Oh sweet, I just want their money. And their guns. And their guns. I didn't do a goddamn thing. Look at that guy. Look at that shit. The fucking 3 dead bodies on the sidewalk and the cops just sitting there. Don't mind me. Oh, there's an ambulance right in front of you. Paramedics are going to check out the guy. You know what? Don't mind me. I'm just going to take your fucking ambulance. Let's fuck around for a little bit. I'm a maniac. Oh, running down people on the sidewalk. You're a monster. So I don't understand, like how people are gonna do horrible things in real life to people and cause violence and shit. Why? Just play Grand Theft Auto 3 and just run down people on the sidewalk. Look at this. You're not doing drugs. You're not doing alcohol. All you're doing is holding the friggin' R trigger in the ambulance. Oh shit! Hold on. I gotta get out before it blows me up. Move! Oh, I'm on fire! Stop, drop, and roll. I don't know what happened, y'all. Did you see that guy? He was driving like a fucking maniac. Anyways, have a great day. I gotta go do a mission for Luigi. So we're in the red light district. Oh, hidden package. Hold up. Really? I can't break the glass with a bat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Excuse me. I need to use your van so I can drive through that window and get the hidden package. I'll bring it right back. Promise. I am a shitty driver today. Hold on, Luigi. Hell yeah. Look at that. Hidden package. Hey, buddy, I don't know where you went, but here's your car. I told you I'd bring it right back. I don't know where he went, but your car's right there. Dirty X Mags. Buy the Daily Spurt. Ha! Alright, where the hell's Luigi? Oh, I gotta follow the L. Follow the L. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this game's totally great for fucking around and shit. But, like, honestly, eventually I'm gonna get to the mission where, like, Luigi's gonna be like, hey, I need you to drive my girls around town for a party and shit. And I gotta, like, play taxi cab for hookers. And that's, like, one of the dumbest missions to me. I hate that shit. Because if you don't pack the car with enough whores, you're not gonna complete your mission on time. And it's drive Misty for me. Where? I don't want to look at Misty. Have you seen her? There's a walking herpes factory, for crying out loud. Misty could sit in the back. Alright, give me a fucking car. I'm gonna steal this one. Get out of the way, old man. Hey, buddy, I need this. Alright. Stealing a car, just slamming the doors. On my way to just picking up whores. Misty, move your ass. Alright, where the hell am I going? Alright, let's take you to Joey's. Step on it. Look at this shit. You got light poles in the ground. You got fucking maniacs driving everywhere. Alright. Alright, where am I going? I want that fucking ice cream truck. Alright, come on. I gotta drop her off. She's making my car stink. Great, now I gotta wash the seats. You really think when designing Joey they couldn't be like, maybe we should have this guy wear a hat? Alright, now back into the world. Joey's gonna go clap those cheeks. Who the fuck stole my car? Some bullshit, buddy. I need this. Alright. So that's what it is. If I do the mission for Joey, that's the one where I gotta frickin' deliver the prostitutes all over town. Drop him off at the elite bigwig party so the rich guys could bend him like Beckham. Go! See, I don't know. Like with Grand Theft Auto 3, I was always impressed with the scale. I was always impressed with the graphics. I was always impressed with the over the top do anything in this sandbox world. Like this game, while it, you know, introduced a lot of clones, it pretty much set the bar for open world sandbox style games. You know what I mean? Often imitated, never duplicated. And I don't know. Some series might have done it better, but I know a lot of series have failed. The only successful series to Grand Theft Auto I could say did it right would be Saints Row, but I don't even think Saints Row really got it right until like Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4. All right. But like I said, when it comes to the fucking story mode missions, I only made it so far before I got the frustrating. I made it far enough into the game, but some of the missions are just frustrating as fuck, especially for these early style 3D Grand Theft Auto games. They improved a lot of the gameplay mechanics and shit with Vice City and San Andreas, and then you know, not even looking at those two games, but they also, you know, during the period of time, you know, they made Bully. You know, they made you had Red Dead Redemption. You know, you had Grand Theft Auto 4. But, you know, when it comes to all things Grand Theft Auto, for pretty much since 2013, everybody's been grinding Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, Grand Theft Auto 4 isn't really available on, like, gaming platforms right now, I don't believe. Like, I don't have a PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5, I completely skipped this generation. I bought 2 PlayStation 4s over the life of that system. I enjoyed my PlayStation 4, but I definitely wasn't feeling the need to upgrade to a PlayStation 5. And honestly, PlayStation 4 taught me a lesson too as my kids were getting older that my video game time is becoming their video game time. So I really didn't get to play my PlayStation 5 and enjoy it as much as I did my PlayStation 3. I honestly enjoyed the PlayStation 4. Oh shit, what am I doing? You know what? I didn't pay attention to the cutscene. You asshole, I'm trying to fucking get the bad guys and you're busting me, you stupid cop, see? God damn. Let's start this mission over. I don't even know what the hell I needed to do. Bastard. I'm gonna ram him. Back and forth. Back and forth. Bam! There you go. Back and forth. You know what? Hold on a second. Those guys had money floating. Give me your floating money and your guns. Ooh, I got a shotgun. Ooh, I'm gonna take this car. Excuse me. You can get out now. Boom. Look at that shit. That was kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, this game is fucking great. There's no denying it. Grand Theft, like I said, Grand Theft Auto 3 is a classic. It's a masterpiece. And everything about this spun on to, like, many other great games over the years in series and shit. Like, this whole format and formula for how you play these games, how you control vehicles. You know what I mean? Carried over to other shit. Like, all you need to do is replace this fucking car with a horse and boom, Red Dead Redemption. All you need to do is replace Liberty City with a fucking private school and boom, bully. But that's gonna do it for this particular video of Ian versus everything. If you want me to continue playing Grand Theft Auto 3, let me know. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see me move on to San Andreas and Vice City. I got no problem doing that. I plan on doing that eventually. But let me know you've watched this by smashing that share button. Throw a heart on it. Engage and interact below. And I will see you next time on Ian versus everything.